Live, ladies and gentlemen. What's up, fight fans? This is Kurt DeVille with Counterpunch Boxing News, and it's a laid back Thursday, and I'm just chilling. I'll let the chat load since there's nobody on. Oh, spoke too soon. Number one, please hit that like button if you will, being the number one. Um, I think that's your duty. You'd be greatly appreciated if you did. Hit that like button. We got 3 on the chat. I'll let the YouTube notification hotline populate. And it's time to talk about some boxing, man. I've had a difficult time trying to find the boxing. I don't know if it's either because of I've seen more boxing really on YouTube than any other place. But like I've been watching the Olympics for the last 3 days, 4 days, and I haven't seen any boxing at all. And I actually looked and looked and looked. There's basketball. 3:19 and 29. I can't find anything. So I don't know what's going on with that. But it is what it is. Vas Patim. Counterpunch to you. Andreas Martin. Hello, Kurt. Good to see you again. Hope you're doing well. Yeah, I'm doing pretty good. Can everybody hear me okay? Guitars for you. What's up, Counterpunch to you? Absolutely great. Great. I got my handy microphone. I take it everywhere I go, all over the world. Hasn't let me down thus far. So we'll accept this one time early on, but I was just adjusting the audio settings on it. So how's everybody doing today? Let's hit that like button as we come in. We got 9 people on the chat. Let's hit that like button. We got 10 on the chat. Uh-oh. We're getting deep, people. How many of you guys been watching the Olympics? What do you think about Pac-Man? How will he fare versus Spence? I think Pac-Man has been out of the ring long enough for us not to get an account on how good he will be. Now, according to him, he says that he needed the rest. If he's more like someone like Vladimir Klitschko, that Vladimir Klitschko said that the actual 2 years rest he needed between 15 and 17, it actually did him good based on his performance against Anthony Joshua. I believe him. If Manny Pacquiao is anything like Vladimir Klitschko, I would say so. I would say, yeah. I would say that he will do a very good job against Errol Spence because, he hasn't been in the ring and he's needed the rest, and if you're older, you do need more rest in between workouts. You can't go hard. Like in my 20s, I could go to the gym every day and it really don't bother me. I'm sore, but I'm not sore like that. I could go lift weights. I was a barrel chest guy, 250 easy. You know what I mean? And then it's like, later in my 20s, not early. Early, I was just, delgado, thin. But, I could work out every day in my 20s. 30s, I could do the same thing, but I had a different body shape because I was getting smaller. because I didn't need the excess weight or whatnot, and I started doubling people, and then you can't be just too big to double people, you know. You can't be a bodybuilder and double people in the film industry. But now I'm in another stage of my life. I can't work out like that every day. I know I'm gonna have to chill. Okay, so I'm gonna have to rest. So if Pac-Man, you know, knowing that I'm in the same age bracket as Pacquiao, but then Pacquiao's older than I am, I can only imagine being a professional athlete, you working out every day, you know, or working out during these grueling training camps. You do need time to rest. So Pacquiao, you never seen him fat and out of shape. That's the good that, you know, I think that really defines greatness. Like, you will never see Floyd out of shape. You'll never see Manny out of shape. Like Vladimir Klitschko, you'll never see those guys out of shape. Those athletically built guys that you won't catch them looking crazy. You know what I mean? I think that's a certain type of barometer, and it's safe to say those type of people are deemed for greatness. You know what I mean? They just come with a certain look, right? Huh? What are you talking about? But no, if he takes his time, and if he actually if that time he needed was to rest, he could probably be a very dangerous customer. I hope so, because the last thing I want is like a younger guy. Just, I want to see something out of the ordinary. Like, even 2 years ago, seeing Errol Spence. Oh, sorry. That was a mistake, I feel. How's it going, Kurt? Oh, that's all right, man. I still got a headache. That's pretty much the last of the symptoms of COVID, is that, you know, just like the headache right here and here. And it's been that way for a while. Certain things I can't taste or smell. But other than that, like, my energy's pretty much back, you know. But it's getting more challenging just to sit in here. You know what I mean? Like last night, I got up and it was like 1 o'clock. I was waiting for the boxing Olympics. I couldn't find it forever. So I went for a walk. Nobody was on the street. It was beautiful. I'm in a place called Las Colinas. Very beautiful area. Suburban, metropolitan-like area of Dallas. And I walked for like, I don't know, 10 blocks. And then I, you know, came back, and it was much needed. It was like, it wasn't hot. It was like cool. The wind was blowing. You know what I mean? And it was just it was very peaceful. Kurt, it's better to have a little bulk on you when you get older, but tone bulk, not flabby out of shape. Smooth Will, you're right about that. You know, I'd rather be like lean, but then, you know, you are older, so you want that that size on you. You know what I mean? Taste or smell, says Steve, is the last symptom with the new Delta. You will be cool next week. Yeah. You know, I'm just thankful it wasn't bad like others. You know, I didn't have problems breathing and stuff like that. So I'm real thankful, man. You know, I'm having a test tomorrow just to see. And then I'm getting with my doctor. They're going to give me another test for a antibodies test. And then, you know, the thing is, they're like, okay, well, you know, you can't get the vaccine. You got to wait. So I'm like, okay. You know, I'm not arguing with that. Renee Padilla. What's up, Kurt? What do you think about Canelo versus Bivol? I want them to do right by Bivol. I want them to understand that Bivol is an opponent and not just a pawn or someone they're just using for a fill-in. And what I mean by that is, you know, these big stars and stuff, they need a fight, but then they want to give the worst type of deal and the worst type of situation. You know, but it's like I think they need to compromise more because that's a champion at 175. Canelo's also a champion at 175. There should be no catch weight because of that. Because you look at it like this: when they start, if he starts this with this catch weight shit, if he starts to do that with Bivol, it shows that hey, that means you really didn't care about the last guy you fought at 175 as much because you didn't. First, they rushed that fight, and Kovalev was like, "I'll take it." He says he'll take it. He took it. So since he took it, hold on just a second, guys. And since he took it, it's like, and then this one guy, now you have Bivol, and you don't want to give up any concessions. It just shows you that, like, well, why would you want that type of advantage with someone that tough? You want to show people, like, I'm equally tough. That's why it won't be any catch weights. I'm a champion at that weight. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense. Like, this reminds me of the Golovkin fight. Remember the big controversy with Golovkin? They wanted Golovkin at a catch weight of 157. And it's like, and then, Canelo's whole thing was, I am not a middleweight. So therefore, which that was a fucking lie. Canelo was every much of a middleweight way back then. He couldn't even make the weight class before 160. He couldn't even make 154. So why is he claiming that he's not a middleweight? That was just a tactic to get Triple G to bow down, really, basically. And he didn't do it. He fought at 160. It was a good fight at 160. Golovkin was 35 years old. Really love this channel, watching from Cape Town, South Africa. Miss Madeline, appreciate you. Love you coming on to sharing this with us. Appreciate you. Ryan Watterson, Bivol wants a catch weight? No, he doesn't want a catch weight. Canelo is said to want a catch weight. That's what's mentioned. I agree with Bivol. 173 is short notice, cool. Less is disrespectful. But do you want to see the fight? I want to see the fight, but that doesn't mean just you don't want to fight having that type of, like, give the fights the fan they want to see, but at the expense of giving a disadvantage to a champion. That ain't right. Because at some point, people need to understand their position they're in. Bivol, he doesn't have to be a dick, but he can also understand, like, hey, you need me just as much as I need you. He needs a high-quality opponent. And Bivol's like, no, if you want to fight me, you fight me at 175. Let's fight me at a unification bout. Don't have me coming to your, because it depends on what is he fighting for. Is he fighting for 168? Or is he fighting Bivol for his WBA title? That's what you ask yourself. Bill has the IQ and the tools to really trouble Canelo, but it's a shame it's short notice, so you have to favor Canelo. Yeah. But like I said before, you don't want to have that type of fight because of another fighter. You're shortchanging one fighter because of Caleb. Kurt, glad you're feeling better. I'm closer to getting the vaccine now. I see you are as well. Pfizer is close to bring FDA approved. Well, if it's FDA approved, I'll definitely get it. I can't get it now because I have it. but when I will, I more than likely will be the Pfizer. If I decide to. Because um if something happens to me and something happens to other people and it's approved from the FDA, I can sue. If I stop hearing in my left ear, and a lot more and other people have witnessed the same thing, me and those other people, you got to pay me. Now, if that shit happens, if something happens to me because, emergency, it's emergency, no, they don't have to pay you a damn dime. I want people to understand that. So if something happens to me from me taking a vaccine and it's not FDA approved, I can't sue anyone because I made the choice. I signed the waiver to take this particular option for me. But appreciate you, Smooth Will. We will see, we'll see. But I think everything is going now. You still have to wear a mask. You still, some people are double. Like Bob Arum is double vaccinated, man. I'm double vaccinated. Like, damn, fucker gonna live forever. In my opinion, how I look at Tyson Fury has changed and have sadly lost a lot of respect for him the last few months. Anyone feel the same way? Thomas Magnani. Anybody feel like Thomas in this place? Bogey 708. What is catch weight? The catch weight is, I think, 170 to 172. To fight for whatever. I don't know what they'll be fighting for. Ryan Waterson definitely should be at 175, else he can't take the belt. Alami Lakosu, Kurt, you are the best. You always hit the nail on the head with your analysis. Is always top notch. Alami, I appreciate you, man. Thank you. Appreciate you. Bacon and eggs. Hey, Kurt, did you catch Freddie on Seconds Out saying that Manny dropped 2 of his sparring partners yesterday? Man, I did not. I did not. But I'll be sure to look at it and counterpunch it. But you also know, if Manny beats Errol Spence, Floyd, it will be like Floyd will always have his followers. Floyd will always have his support. But then the more you do while you're older, the more people will respect you. It'll be harder and harder for people to say Floyd is better than Manny. Because, see, Floyd decided to quit while Manny didn't. Manny did it longer. Manny beat all these guys. And also, if Manny beats Errol Spence, you know how, man, I will laugh from here to Kingdom Come. Because you know why? I'm like, dude, Manny Pacquiao damn near wiped out a whole generation of PBC fighters. That old-ass congressman, that 40-year-old congressman from the Philippines, from a whole nother era. Manny Pacquiao was in his prime about 2010, 11, 12. That's what his prime was. 2009, 10, 11, right? But I'll definitely check it out, Bacon and Eggs. Okay, so Bacon and Eggs, he also feels the same way about Tyson Fury. Anybody else feel the same way about Tyson Fury? Feed the Bear, get Will soon. Take care and stay safe, Kurt. Man, thank you, Feed the Bear. Thank you for the blessing. Thank you for the super chat. And I will try to do exactly that. If I could get over this headache, it's just this headache right here. That's it. Like right here. It's like on the side of my head. And then it's kind of like, it's like lingering. But other than that, I feel pretty damn good. Gerard, what's up, Kurt? I have lost a lot of interest in Tyson Fury after all that has happened. I've lost no respect for Tyson. Okay, Michael Sims still on board. Mario Salazar, I'm a huge Fury fan, but he's been disappointing me lately. Okay, so Mario's kind of jumping on that bandwagon. Who else do you think? I think Fury and Wilder are conning the boxing world. Skrilla 50. You may have a point on that. You can't really argue with Skrilla 50. You know why? Okay. I was so mad at Wilder for not saying anything about all this accusations, right? And then it was like, then it just hit me like, I'm sitting around like, damn, Wilder, why you didn't say nothing? And you could still say that, but then I noticed one thing that just stuck out also. Why didn't Tyson Fury say anything either? It was almost like something that people were saying, but then like you got around each other, it's like you didn't say anything to each other about each other. And I just thought that was just the weirdest thing, and it just hit me, just like Skrilla 50. It's like, baby, these motherfuckers are just conning us all. Maybe these guys are just really, they needed that to sell their fight. They needed the glove gate. They needed all the accusations. They needed the excuses. Tyson Fury, oh, he's an excuse maker, but you really didn't call him out on what he said about you. He didn't say anything about you while you were there. So nobody really confronted anybody about anything. You guys were just talking shit. So how do we know that that's just not a big ass PR scam to make this fight sell because of the dominance? Tyson Fury is like, hey, I'm on board because I beat the shit out of him the last time. But then again, I'm not going to confront him and call him out on his bullshit. But then Wilder's not calling him out on his bullshit. Then I'm like, well, wait a minute. Did you guys purposely not say anything about that while you got, I mean, I didn't get it. I really didn't get it. You know what I mean? I really didn't get that. It's just Fury being Fury. He's always been like that. My views on him haven't changed. Okay, Ronan 7/9. I think, it's weird. People hate Fury now. If Fury goes in there and taps that ass, people will love Fury all over again. Then Fury will talk shit. I told you so. I told you I was going to beat the big Dulce. I told you he was a one-trick pony. I told you he was a sausage, a shithouse, an excuse maker. I told you. Kind of sounds familiar. I told you. I told you I was the greatest. You doubted me. You doubted me in the Ring magazine. You doubted me, suckers. All you suckers bow. I told you. The excuse maker. Sausage. Shithouse. CrossFit. Twerker. Kurt, do you think Porter wants the Crawford fight, or you think he'll duck it? I like Porter, but I just have a real funny feeling I can see PBC flying. But Stefano, I don't know what the hell. I don't know what the hell Sean Porter wants. I honestly, I don't. Honestly, God, I don't. I mean, I like when he starts saying I'm gonna just let this play out and all that shit. I was like, man. Before you go to purse bid, why don't you make, like Michael Hunter said, make a fight in good faith first when you have the opportunity? That just shows you that you're willing to cooperate with other networks. That ain't too hard to make. We're looking at a fight that's merging on October 9th. That's supposed to happen July 24th, and that's Fury Wilder. Both of those guys are in the same situation where Terrence Crawford and Sean Porter will be. Okay? They are doing the same. Sean Porter's with PBC Fox, just like Deontay Wilder is. Tyson Fury is just like Terrence Crawford. They're both with ESPN. There is no difference. All right? So I don't see why he has to let's see where it irons out, or let's see where you don't have to do that. You know what I mean? He's Sean Porter. I like Sean Porter. Sean Porter, for what I can tell, is a stand-up guy. But it's not saying it, by him saying that, he doesn't seem like a stand-up guy when he's just letting it ride out, unless he's doing it for cash. He might be doing it for cash. You have to be open-minded with that. He might just know that Bob Arum's cheap. So he might just say, you know what? Since the WBO's making this shit happen, let's see what the WBO pushes this to be. And if it's to my benefit, sure, let's go for it. So that might be what he's doing. I hope that's what he's doing. And if it's anything else, I don't know what to tell you guys. It's just, you know what I mean? It's just like, look, we've had so many disappointing fights this year that didn't happen. The Alexander Usyk, Joe Joyce, the Anthony Joshua, Tyson Fury, the Efe Ajagba versus Frank Sanchez. Remember that one? Like a lot of fights that this one would be no exception. Terrence Crawford, now Sean Porter. That is probably would be one of the fights of the year. James Bash, peace, Kurt. I hope I didn't miss much. Man, I've been here 25 minutes, so you have not. So we just kind of started. We're just getting tuned up. You know what I mean? We're getting warmed up. But no, I hope Sean Porter is game. I hope he breaks the will of the reputation that they have on the PPC. I'm so sick of these people. It's sad. Boxing is getting fucked up. Let's just call it what it is. It's the sport that I love that I hate so much, simply because of what's going on. In the 90s, we were spoiled. In the 2000s, we were spoiled. I watched Felix Trinidad versus Fernando Vargas the other day. And I thought back and I thought back at it, and I kind of got the goosebumps in some rounds that went down: rounds 4, rounds 1, rounds 10, rounds 12. And these type of rounds, like it gave me that nostalgia of how it was back then, when you had fighters fighting each other like a mother sucker. Then you had these type of fights like that. That same year, we produced 3 of the best fights I've probably ever seen. Okay. We had Barrera Morales 1. Okay. Fight of the year. Oscar De La Hoya, Sugar Shane Mosley 1. Fight of the year. Trinidad versus Vargas later that year. Fight of the year, right? All fights that were just bang out, drug out fights, pinnacle fights. For some damn reason, we can't get a fight like that with these assholes fighting today. Counterpunch. Kurt, where's the AJ versus Usyk prediction? We're waiting. I'll give it to you guys. I want to feel better when I do it. You know what I mean? I even have notes and shit for it, and I've done that. Done my homework, so I will have it out for you, definitely. I promise. I promise. Thoughts on Big Baby Anderson? I think he's going to be a promised fighter, but then the way things are going, he needs people around him. He, like that generation of fighters, you need other fighters around him to make him him. You don't, like, one thing about Roy that crippled Roy didn't have those guys early on. Roy had already went like through a whole decade undefeated. Got robbed at the Olympics, kicked ass for 10 years. And see, by the time he actually lost, he had already went from heavyweight on back down. So, like, you want to be that guy that has someone that you can compete against. You got to have a rival. Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder are not making any sense. In my opinion, the only thing that makes the third fight interesting is how DW is going to do in the fight underdog. Bogey 708. We don't know, man. I don't know what. Wilder looks good. He does look good. He looks like he's actually training. Now, I could be a dickhead and say, you know what, he should have been doing it. So guess what? I'm going to do that. He should have been doing that shit. He should have been doing that. Wilder should have been training like this. Hey, better late than never. But he should have been doing that. But that's how you can create, yes, men can create a spoiled, delusional person. Easy. And that man, bless his soul, he got away with not hitting guys with one punch this whole fucking time until he got into that ring, got his ass beaten, and nobody could take it. And I don't see how all these guys that supported him couldn't see. And they're not, you can't be a boxing fan. You got to be more of a racist than a boxing fan. You must have been looking at something totally different than anything else. Because the things you saw Wilder do, it's like somebody, and look, Tyson Fury's no genius. He just was the first one that had access to do that. Is the Bob Arum again? I don't know if it's Bob Arum or not, you know. But then you look at Bob Arum though. I mean, he was a part of a lot of other fights that happened. Shit. You know, he worked with Don King to get the Trinidad versus De La Hoya fight. Who do you think De La Hoya was fighting under? Bob Arum. Trinidad was a Don King fighter. They fought. You know, a lot of the fights got made. Steve Peters, what's up, bro? You're doing a nice job. Appreciate you, Steve. Wonder if Usyk beats AJ, will the Mauricio declare White versus Fury 3 winner while waiting for the Usyk versus AJ? I don't know. I have no idea, but like if he beats AJ, he's gonna have to fight AJ again. That's the only bad thing about that. Because it, like, to me, I think, and I like Anthony Joshua, but like sometimes the rules have to apply for everyone. Everyone. I don't care how big you are. I mean, I don't care about any of that because, you know, oh yeah, you know, it had to be in there. So you have to look at it like this. They had to be concerned about Usyk to a certain degree to put a rematch clause in that sucker. If I were Bud after my contract, I'd sign with PBC because I don't see them working with him if he signs with Hearn. Mario Salazar, I wouldn't sign with PBC. No, I would sign one fight with PBC, but knowing them, they would try to do Bud like they did Canelo. No, you got to sign a 3-fight deal with us, right? And all that shit to fight who? No, he should be exactly like Canelo. All of them should be just like Floyd. You know, bringing the money in. Hey, Kurt, before the third fight, Wilder and Fury will have been out of the ring for close to 2 years. Who do you think will affect more? They're both affected the same. They're both affected the same. I think that's why it's probably more even because none of them motherfuckers have fought each other since each other. None of them. Usyk is the best. Oh, Kimberly, Counterpunch to you. We got a Usyk love. We got that Usyk love in here. Usyk. The cat. PBC have a lot of ducking traits, like telling other fighters to get a belt like Tank Davis and Errol Spence. Yeah, they'll do that. I mean, that's PBC. PBC, man. And you know what to think PBC was actually this young, fresh network that had a lot of people. Look what happened in 5 years ago. That was 5 years ago, right? No, 6 years ago now. In 2015, we had free TV, PBC free TV. You guys remember that? Give us Don King. I know, right? I blame Mayweather. A-Bear says, I blame Mayweather. You can't blame Mayweather for everybody trying to be like Mayweather. You know, you just blame them. I mean, they just went after a model of person. They just, you know, they just not even really gave birth to a bunch of assholes. I think just a bunch of people tried to be like him because they wanted the money. They wanted the results that he received over the process. That's why the Charlos career won't be anything like it should have been. Them guys should have fought a whole bunch of other fighters. That shit with Roberto Gomez. You guys see that video? He even confirmed, yo, yeah, They sent this man a bunch of money, and Al Heyman turned that shit down for his fighter. Sean Porter is the PBC fighter with the most heart. Yeah, and he shouldn't. I hope he doesn't find a way out of this fight. The O is the like a protected species. Yeah, Mickey Ward versus Arturo Gatti. They were some fights. Yeah. Ward and Gotti won. I think that was was it May 22nd of 2002? Let me check because I don't want to be. And then if so, where did I get that date from? Okay, Ward, Gatti, won. Okay. No, it was, wait. No, it was, no, I said May 22nd, didn't I? No, it was May 18th, not 22nd. So I was off a few days. My fault. Kurt, Gennady Golovkin impression. No, guys, I want drama show after Canelo. I want Canelo only. I don't want fight. I don't want other fighters. Hey, Kurt, when are you fighting Logan Paul? Never. Never fighting Logan Paul. Wilder no better than coffee. Damn. That's cold. No better than coffee? Come on now. Well. Avatar. Kurt, my bro. Joshua will KO anyone. Ha ha ha. Watch. Yo, no believe AJ forever. Love Wilder too. Okay. Big drama show. Hey guys, ¿cómo estás, guys? Mexican style. Imagine if Don King ran the PBC. Oh man. So live, that would be some funny shit. Imagine that though. Imagine Don King talking to somebody like Errol Spence. Don, I won't Keith Thurman, Don. Don, I won't Keith Thurman. Don, I won't Keith Thurman. Look, baby. Let me tell you something, baby. You gonna fight who I tell you to fight. Okay? You gonna fight? You gonna fight this boy over here? You ain't gonna fight Keith Thurman. I got plans for Keith Thurman. You ain't Keith Thurman. You're a couple steps away from Keith Thurman. Don't believe Floyd. You believe me. I run you, not Floyd. Floyd ain't a promoter. Floyd is a baby promoter, baby. I'm the man that make it happen. I'm the part of the PBC, baby. You gonna have to do what I tell you to do. Man, that's some bullshit. I'm gonna tell you what's bullshit. You gonna find you in a Lincoln stinking. You keep fucking with me, boy, here. Mm-hmm. AJ is the man. He cracks skulls. DJ Anton. Good evening, Kurt. Greetings from South Wales. Counterpunch to you, Charlie Torre. With that smiley. Yeah, he'll tell him. In a couple of years, you're going to fight Sean Porter. And Sean Porter, y'all going to have the fight of the year. I tell you that. But don't overstep your boundaries. You do what I tell you to do. You're a new kid on the block. You know what that means, don't you? You do what I tell you to do. I'm paying you good money. Man, that's some bullshit. You took 70% of my check. One is a net, the other is the gross. But don't worry, didn't I get you a new Rolls Royce? I get you another Rolls Royce. Man, I don't want no damn Rolls Royce, man. You tripping, man. This dude tripping, man. No, what you gonna do? You gonna be tripping in that trunk of that car if I get you. You keep talking here. And don't say nothing to the media. Don't say nothing to USA. Don't say nothing to ESPN. That is not your way. I promote you. I'm your promoter. You sit your slow country talking ass down somewhere before you end up missing. That's bullshit, dog. That's bullshit. I'm gonna tell you what's bullshit. You get your ass in that gym and stay out of them damn clubs here. And stop all that damn drinking, baby. You acting like you a rock star. You ain't no rapper. Usyk will KO. AJ Usyk will KO. Okay. Yes, Kurt, you have plans to come over to the UK. I do. I do. Shit, not for this next fight. It's all sold out. I thought about going there. Shit was over with. I wish people would be more like Pacquiao than Mayweather. If all these fighters were the Pac-Man in this era, could be more like the 80s. Well, Cairo, no, not really. I'm going to tell you why. Because Pacquiao is fighting guys now that he should have fought years ago. Because, see, he could have fought guys like, he could have fought Keith Thurman in 17. See, Keith Thurman wanted to fight Pacquiao since like 2017. And he finally fought him and got that fight in 19. Okay. Thurman finally landed that fight. See, nobody over at the PBC got like this clear break and clean break. They all had to like sit around and wait. That goes for Keith Thurman. That goes for Shawn Porter. Even though Shawn Porter was kind of around before any of those guys. You have to remember, Shawn Porter probably was, he was the IBF champion. And then he fought Kell Brook and got upset. You guys remember when that was? Was that like 2015 or 16? That was a while ago. You know what I mean? So like Keith Thurman then came around. And then he finally got the fight with Shawn Porter. You know, and that was in 17. So let me take a look here. Because I know Shawn Porter, Shawn Porter's 33 years old. He'll be 34 this year. Sean Christian Porter, you know, from Ohio, Ohio's finest. Yeah, he lost to Kell Brook in August of 2014. So that tells you he been around for a while. Okay? And that's when, you know, right before that, he smashed Paulo Malignaggi. I mean, slaughtered him in rounds 4. So then 2 years later, and you know what? I could have sworn that was actually 17. That was 16. Huh. That really didn't make any sense to me. Now I guess that was a different fight I was watching. Because I remember Keith Thurman. Wait a minute. So who did he fight? Well, I don't. You know what? He fought Danny Garcia in 17. Okay, now I know something was off because I remember where I was at. I was filming Jeepers Creepers 3 at that time, and I was in Baton Rouge. And I was like, wait a minute, it doesn't make sense. But no, he fought Danny Garcia. But look, even when he fought Danny Garcia, even when Keith Thurman could get a hold of Danny Garcia, because it was a process. Okay. And then, you know, he just took his first L a couple of years ago. L Shamoney, counterpunch to you, Kurt. Your videos have helped through some of the toughest times. Big up, bro. Love from the UK. El Shamani, thank you, brother. I appreciate you. That makes it worthwhile. You know what I mean? And me doing these videos like through COVID and all that, when everything was on a standstill, really put things in perspective, you know, really show the support from people. And we're really all we have. Community of boxing fans and stuff like that, when we get together and we, you know, and it's a camaraderie of this community, and we can talk about things, and we can agree, we can disagree, you know, but more than likely we can do it all together, but then apart. It's awesome. And I really appreciate it, man. And then everybody on the chat, I think that, you know, hearing things like that really makes me feel motivating to keep doing what I've been doing. And But no, it's definitely it's a class of people that love a sport that is not the most popular, but it's our sport. You know what I mean? And we can share stories and things that we were doing in our lives. And sometimes, man, you need those words of encouragement. So I really appreciate it once again. Time to sleep in mighty North Europe. Oh man, is it that late already? Pirates Pizza Shack, Scotland. Don King always played the race card to get his fighters, but he always in business with the mob. Awesome impersonation. I love it. Pirates Pizza Shack. I'm telling you, have you ever seen um Only in America with Don King? It's on YouTube, the whole movie. Bing Rames played him, and it was great. It was a really very good movie. I mean, you might not care for Don King, and then and hearing things he did, made you not probably want to, but you have to understand, like that guy, it shows you that you can do anything when you are driven to. Usyk wins, but not with a devastating punch to put AJ on the canvas. Usyk wins on points, is preconceived and bound to manifest. Bacon and eggs. 1995 through 2021 cut him some slack. Kurt Floyd also fought them years ago as well. At least many is fighting them before he hangs up the gloves. Reply to A. Winner claims best heavyweights of today's eras. Mighty Monty. Kurt versus Blue Blood Sports TV. Man, Bob, why is that? What is that with Blue Blood? I want to fight Blue Blood. AJ's the baddest. Watch, wear, ready. Any man, anytime, any place, anywhere. AJ forever. No man. Ricardo TV. What's up, brother? Counterpunch. Truth teller versus narration follower. Ah, yeah, that makes sense. There were 100,000 customers in line to buy AJ and Usyk tickets, but only first 62 got their hands on those tickets. You know what though? That lets you know. I think Eddie Hearn should really been thinking out of the box. He should have invested in theaters. When I mean theaters, he should have then went to the theaters and tried to sell them there, and got like at least 2 or 3 slots per each theater to watch that fight. So if there's like 250, 400, 500 people per theater, he can get 1,500 each theater. So if it's 500 seats per slot, he has 3 slots per theater, he could sell them there. Floyd did that over here, and he made a lot of money. I remember it was him and Canelo. Floyd did that. You could go to a theater and watch Canelo versus Floyd Mayweather. Kurt, you had people trying to shut your channel down. You are beyond top notch. Skrilla 50. Yeah, they were trying to shut it down. Oh, Dante's Boxing Nation and Aki and them. Them fucking guys were relentless, man. Them dudes went from like, it's one thing. Let's say you take 3 3 copyright strikes will shut a whole channel down. 3. These motherfuckers sent 8. I'm like, well, what are you trying to? Why are you doing that? Because they would just send one because they were like, okay, and that just shows you they weren't really, they didn't really have confidence in 1 or 3. They just knew, okay, hopefully 3 of these will stick to shut this guy's channel down. Instead of, okay, this thing is one legitimate. I found this problem with with this video. Oh, here's another one. Here's another one. Okay, that's fine. We've already sent 3. No, they went malicious with it and kept sending them. Therefore, if YouTube kicks out 1, they have 2 more So they would do like one, they would do like 3 at one time, and then the next 2 days they'll put another one, and the next day they'll put 2 more. Then the next day they put 2 more, and then it was like, yo, what the fuck? So yeah, I've seen it. Had no bad movie. Don King was a character before boxing. He was. Ashley Horn, what's up, brother? Counterpunch to you. It's been a long time, man. You know, I just looked at some messages. I really do need to check that more. Why does anyone want AJ to win? There aren't too many sacks of potatoes, boring fighters as it is. I miss the real Matrix, Roy Jones. I miss Roy Jones too, Kimberly. But here's the thing. They don't want AJ to win, because if AJ gets all the belts, it'll be hell. And then imagine if AJ has all the belts, there will be really no strive for anything else. And what I mean by that is, when AJ, if he gets all the belts, then for one, there will be nobody really to, there's no other king, there's no other champion, and you know, it would kind of be like game over. You know what I mean? It's like, and they know that because they know he made all the money, he makes all the money, he can call all the shots, and they would absolutely hate that shit to the core. They would hate that to their soul. Until, you know, unless someone pulls an Andy Ruiz or something, you know, but like Wilder without the WBC belt, or without the idea of him being a champion, he doesn't have anything really. He doesn't really have anything. All of his credibility lied within Tyson Fury. So why would you squander that with fucking Tyson Fury? Especially when you didn't even care about the lineal bullshit, the Ring Magazine Bush Floyd. I mean, Wilder didn't care about that. The hate is real, Kurt. You do your thing and you are unbiased, and people don't need an agenda to watch your content. Keep grinding. You and Showbiz are by far best channels for boxing content. Cairo Middleton, I appreciate it, man. I appreciate it. Thank you. You know, Showbiz is a real good channel. Loves boxing. And see, here's the thing. Here's the thing. There's nothing wrong with admitting you're wrong. If you sit there and watch a channel and a guy can't even express, hey, I was wrong about that, I apologize. If he can't ever do that, and he's just that full of himself, and it is so weird though. A lot of those guys that have that type mindset, a lot of them follow Wilder, because Wilder doesn't have that type of mindset. Like, okay, like for example, now, let me give you a good example. You see all the new things Wilder's doing? Wilder could win so many people over just by saying, hey, all this time I was wrong. I should have been training hard like I'm training now. I was wrong. He should have done like Andy Ruiz did. I didn't train. I didn't do what I was supposed to. He kind of did later on, like, hey, I got away with a lot. I got away with a lot of shit in training. That wasn't him really apologizing. That was just him really bragging on he could do what the fuck he wanted to do. But he was that type of person. If he was that type of person, like, look, I've learned so much with Malik Scott, and I've been doing it wrong and with the people that I worked with before. But no, he would rather say, man, the trainers was against me. You know, he was jealous. You know, Mark Breland was jealous. He was envious that people be with you for years and just think you envy. Get the fuck out of here, dude. You did what you wanted to do and you paid for it. You didn't want nobody telling you to do shit and you paid for it. You got whooped because you didn't want to do certain shit that people wanted you to do that was hired to do that job, but they didn't make or let those people do that job. So it didn't even really matter. So he could have, like, Wilder could win so many people over just by being fucking humble and hungry. He shows he's hungry. He ain't showing he's humble. You know, the only thing that I show he's humble in, he got his spirituality back. That's right. With Jesus Christ, all things are possible. My Lord and Savior. He wasn't talking about that shit when he was undefeated. So for that regards, if you want to call it that way, okay, he found Christ back, but then you know what I mean, because his father's a preacher. You know, yeah, if his father was a Southern Baptist preacher, you do not believe in alter egos and praying to ancestors. You don't do that. But he's clearly said that to another Christian, because everybody knows Tyson Fury is a Christian. And he will not hesitate to tell anyone that he is a Christian. That's why he pissed Tyson Fury off and told him, well, it could be an ancestry. It could be an ancestry spirit. And Tyson Fury's like, well, I don't know. I don't need anything but the God, God's power from above. What are you talking about? I don't need anybody's ancestral spirits. I don't believe in any of these alter egos. You guys remember that? That's where I don't like you anymore. That's where he thought that Wilder was more like him. But Wilder showed him how different he is. But now Wilder is back to Christ, to his original deity that he grew up with. No disrespect to anybody else's. It's just you see the change. Now, for that reason, he might have. But him training and stuff like that, him training hard and showing you different workouts, different combinations, putting combinations together, except that one jab and right hand and jab, right hand and shit like that. No, he's actually putting them together and dipping, you know what I mean? Punching and rolling and slipping bars. So, he's actually doing these things now. Now, he could, like, anybody should know, like, if I learned something new, I'm like, yo, I've learned so much, If he wins, hopefully that's what you hope he does. Like, hey, I've learned so much from Malik Scott. I'm so glad, and I was doing it all wrong. That's humility, because that's showing, like, look, I wasn't doing what I was supposed to do when I had the WBC belt, when I had the opportunity. A lot of shit went to my head, which a lot of stuff did go to his head. The money went to his head. The fame went to his head. A lot of things went to his head, and Wilder was not accustomed to those type of things. He was not. Kurt, America's demographics are changing. The LDBC will be irrelevant. Well, they have to get down or lay down. But I mean, you look at it like this: if it sticks, it sticks. They're gonna want it to be, Wilder. Everything depends on Wilder winning. Everything depends on Wilder getting revenge. If Wilder doesn't get it's almost like this. If Wilder doesn't get his revenge, it's like those channels that promoted the allegations of cheating and Mark Breland and a lot of people didn't, but then a lot of those guys did. They said or thought whatever they wanted to happen. Whatever Wilder decided. If he gets beat up again, a lot of those channels will lose steam. A lot of people will stop looking at them. Unless they can come up with another lie and just lie themselves through it. Like, oh, yeah, he cheated again, or this is the reason this. They have to come up with something else. And it depends on the people that watch it. You have to understand, there's a lot of idiots out there, man. There's a lot of stupid people that look at those channels. But more than likely stupid, a lot of them are compromised. They compromise through the eyes of the way they already think. The ignorance for thinking that, hey, yeah, Tyson Fury couldn't beat Deontay Wilder because he's white. You know what I mean? If you already have that mindset, that's the channels we're going to go over there. And they're going to be preaching that shit. Count Drago, I'm in the minority here, but I think Tank stops Thurman with a body shot in the 10th round. Keith out too long. Tank too young, too active. Hashtag Samson Hair Cruz. Count Drago. That's very interesting you say that. You know why? Because, that's what happened to Barrios. But here's the thing about Barrios. Barrios got caught. He's like about the same height as Keith Thurman, right? Now, here's the thing. Everybody knows anything about Keith Thurman. Keith Thurman is soft to the body. Keith Thurman is soft to the body. He can get hit. He got hurt with Sean Porter. He got hurt with Collazo. You know, that's why I really wanted to see him and Errol Spence get it on, because you know Errol Spence works the body like no other. That's a body working man. That motherfucker will work to the body and dig. You know what I mean? So yeah, it's I could you know that I didn't even really think about that, but yeah, he did stop Barrios with a body shot. So you know, Keith Thurman's tough upstairs though. He can take some punches, but that body, you know that bow. Oh, he's going down. Take it easy, Kirk. Catch you later, mate. God bless. God bless you. Feed the bear. Counterpunch to you, brother. If Wilder loses again, a lot of the LDBC channels are going to go insane. They will probably create Glovegate, Watergate, 3 point. They might. I mean, they would have to. Stefano Prime. Kurt needs an impersonist show on Coast to Coast. Yeah, that'll be cool. I wonder where Deontay's inner spirit will be after 3 or 4 months with Fury or any real testing opponent. I don't know. I have no idea. England gives everyone a chance. That's why we're no one. America is a joke. We made you. Oh, damn. Definitely the language comes from there. You know, that reminds me, I think about that shit so ever so often. When Wilder said to Fury, he was like, you know, you talk like that with an accent, everybody think you laughing. They laughing with you, but they laughing at you. And Fury was like, what the fuck are you talking about? Yeah, the way you talk, because you from England. They laughing at you. He's like, I'm speaking English, you fucking idiot. It was almost like it irks Tyson Fury, but you know, Tyson Fury's humorous, and I don't even think he tries to be. You know what I mean? Because it's like, but it made sense. It was like it did like, dude, if you really think about what you're saying, fucking English comes from England. That's why the fuck is it called English? Spain comes from fucking Spanish comes from Spain. If Wilder's undisputed will never happen. If Will Fury wins, he might not fight Joshua, but at least he'll retire. I don't know, man. What's going on, Kirk? Hope you get rid of that COVID. Yeah, man. It's getting better and better. You know, what do you do? It's a process, right? You know, I tested positive last Thursday. It's just, you know, people want things to happen quicker. If Fury can regain his focus and bring his A game like he did in the second fight, I think Wilder has more um, chance of becoming pregnant, like like he said he'd sign up for if he could, than beating Fury. Damn, not the pregnancy. Oh man, imagine Mike Tyson saying, "I wish I was pregnant. I wish I could have a baby. I wish I could have a baby and my breast swells up with milk so I can breastfeed my baby like women." Man, motherfuckers would look at Mike like, what the fuck? What the fuck you say? Man, Mike tripping. I want a baby. I want to get pregnant. I want to get shot hot ejaculate in and get pregnant in my ovaries. No, man, that shit there. But look, and honestly, when I heard that shit happened, it dropped back in like late 18. And I remember, and you know, people are like, man, I'm not reporting that bullshit. Because I mean, because that technically didn't have anything to do with boxing. It didn't. Malik would be the sperm. I want Malik to be the daddy. I want him to be the daddy. All right, here we go, guys. Just had to take that. I was actually talking to my doctor and stuff like that. And, because I called earlier. There we go. All right. Piss on the old fight, everybody. You're right. If Wilder says those things, I would get back behind him. Yeah, yeah. Like Wilder could do certain shit. And I think this is what I honestly think about Wilder. I think Wilder I think he intentionally wants a certain demographic or a certain group of people to follow him. Can you guys hear me? Al Heyman hacked the screen. You're muted. Yeah, shut that motherfucker down. Shut him down. Booty call. No. Ain't no I think nobody wants a booty call from me, sir. I had a good time, Kurt. Oh. You all right? I don't feel well. Oh, I don't know what happened. That would suck. Fucking around here giving people COVID. Motherfucker gave me COVID. Motherfucker. But where are you? Say, okay, can hear you now. Okay, cool. Loud and clear. But yeah, I think I think he wants a certain demographic. He wants certain people to only, But like I tell everybody, Wilder has been training, and then obviously if you look at here's a thing people don't think about. If he trained hard, let's hit that like button. We got 100 people on the chat. Let's get 100 likes. Let's get 100 likes. What up, Kurt? Hope you're fully recovered. Counterpunch to you, my man. No, I'm not fully recovered. I'm feeling pretty good though. Feeling pretty damn good, honestly. It's just like actually the headache just kind of went away. Huh. I'll make me some more lemon water. Might be the key. Vitamin C. Bars. RIP Dipset. Who's Dipset? Somebody fill me in. Wilder 40 odds, and what else is he gonna learn? Well, look at it this way. He's learning a lot more than he did before. For a person, the only reason he won, he got cheated. Obviously, that's not the case. Because what the fuck are they doing? Anyway, Kurt, who do you think is more skilled, Fury or Usyk? I don't know, man. That's a good question. Because they're very highly skilled. Because Usyk is a guy that he has that amateur pedigree, that Olympic amateur pedigree. And a lot of times people have to understand, like, look at the World Boxing Super Series when he fought Joe Joyce. When he fought Joe Joyce, none of the motherfuckers had headgear. So I think the reason why them like Usyk is so damn tough, like he wouldn't brought up in that I need headgear type situation because they didn't even have that in the World Boxing Super Series then. So he was taking punches from big guys. It ain't like he can't fight. People are going to be so fucking surprised when he fights Joshua. Because everybody just thinks, man, Joshua is just going to beat the shit out of him. That may happen. But it's not going to happen like people think. Okay? And the sad thing about that, if Joshua beats Usyk, he ain't going to get credit for it. He ain't going to get credit for it. And then it's going to really be bad for other people because Joshua won't get credit. If Joshua goes in there and knocks out Usyk, Joshua won't get credit. Why? Because he's smaller. And then what's going to happen? That's going to be fucked up for the next person. Why? Because the next person that's going to go in there and think they're going to do that same shit that Joshua did to Usyk is going to be it's going to have a rude fucking awakening. And when he tears their ass up, then they're going to be like, damn, how did Joshua do what this guy, do that to this guy when I couldn't? I think they pulled Wilder as a perfect excuse to duck the AJ fight. They wanted Wilder to do more. Wilder didn't do more. So they needed somebody that was British, that was just as good, or had a similar reputation. You know, Fury was already in the talks, okay? Fury was in talks to fight not even Wilder. Fury was in the plan since AJ beat Klitschko. Usyk never been dropped. Ooh, that's a nice notion. That's also an interesting point. He's never been dropped. And like even if you hurt Usyk, that doesn't mean that he's going to sit there and let you hit him. He's going to know instinctively how to slip, dip, move, dodge, parry, and dodge. Dodgeball. Duck, dip, dodge, dog, and dodge. Let's see. 3 years out of the ring helped the decision. They play catch with that WBC to keep it in the U.S. Yeah, well, Usyk was dropped in one of his fights, by the way. Oh, okay. Which one? Let's settle this now. Put AJ, Fury, Wilder in the ring, same time, threesome, first die, loses. That ain't going to happen. Mighty Monty, AJ needs Ruiz in his corner, someone to teach him how to fight tall. Yeah, I doubt that'll happen. Lennox Lewis is a clown. He's a clown. AJ beat Povetkin, Dillian White fought Povetkin and got sparked. Yeah, look, I'm gonna tell you this, Squilla 50. You want to say AJ has a chin? Look, it's chinny. You got to say Dillian White's chinny too, then, because Dillian White couldn't take something that Anthony Joshua took. I hear someone says it, and it's true. Andy Ruiz never been knocked down either until he fought AJ. That's true. That is true. Why does AJ duck the same high as Ruiz? I don't understand that. That's what they said about Del Boy would do to him, and that did not happen. That's true. The godfather of boxing. You got a point there. See, you had guys like Spilka. He got hit by Del Boy. War. And what happened? He got hit by this cat and everything on him went. He got hit. Bow! He was out on his feet. And Chisora came over there and took him out. And people thought that was going to happen to Usyk. They were like, man, Usyk too small. Usyk going to get hit with one of them fucking right hands and he ain't going to be able to take it. And then, Chisora gonna mow him over. That didn't happen. Yeah, he went through some shit. And I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, Chisora hit him a lot, right? He got his licks in. He got his pound of flesh. Oh yeah. Kurt, when I got the C19, I almost died. Lydia Dones. I'm glad you didn't. Were you hospitalized, Lydia? Egg-shaped form. Remember that Emmanuel Stewart said that Fury would be a heavyweight champ. I'm doing a video on that, man. I keep bullshitting. I'm gonna do it tonight because I'm gonna. It's gonna be a travel day for me tomorrow because I'm leaving. Depending on how my test goes, I'm leaving. I'm leaving this city anyway because I'm going back to Austin. So. Depends on if I'm going back to my apartment or if I'm going back to a room. But egg-shaped form, that is true. That reminds me too. He did predict that. Good prediction. God bless the dead from Emmanuel Stewart. Mighty Monty, good point. Maybe not Lewis then, but the technique he could do. Man, I would, don't get me wrong. I would like to see Lennox Lewis train Anthony Joshua, just like I would love to see Mike Tyson train Oscar Rivas. You know what I mean? Because like the similarities are just bar none. Okay. Hey Kurt, counterpunch to you. What's happening? Steven Bamber. Man, I'm just chilling, man. You know, it's the evening vibe. I'm watching the Tokyo 2020. I haven't seen fucking boxing yet. That's what I'm tripped out on. I'm like, dude, I've seen swimming, skiing, track and field, climbing. I ain't seen boxing yet. It's not getting knocked down, but it's getting back up. But St. Don, counterpunch to you. You're absolutely true. But then again, it would be different if Alexander got knocked down, like to show like, okay, he doesn't belong there. Like maybe the punches are hurting him. Maybe the punches are too much for him. You know what I'm saying? Like he didn't even get that, you know? Like it wasn't even like that. Like he just got hurt. Was he wobbly legged? You know what I mean? I mean, he got caught with some punches, you know, even with Witherspoon, John's nephew. Yeah, boy. Can you think Usyk can increase dramatically his power? No, I don't. And I don't think he should be trying to do that. You know, I just think he should just be himself. Dillian White's chin is much more questionable than AJ's. Uh-oh. Curtis Allen's with that chin question. Was rewatching AJ Ruiz one earlier, and the third round is immense. Still has me hitting the rewind button multiple times whenever I watch it. Yeah. I mean, it should, you know. Because AJ went in. Now imagine, let me bring you guys back. I remember that day. I was at work. And I thought I was going to be off before it started, but I wasn't. And I was serving. I was serving tables. And my phone was, I think it was on charge. And what I used to do then, I used to upload videos while I was working. So when they would upload, they would just upload. And I had them in an area of like this break room where I had like they had like napkins and stuff like that. Like it was like an overflow of napkins, and I would put my phone in there. Well, it was either there or the break room. So it was coming close to the end of the night, and people were leaving the restaurant that I was serving. So I went over there, and then I was watching Joshua and shit like that. And I remember that round. I was like, oh shit, Joshua's getting fucking whooped. Because I remember he started getting hit. And I'll start watching it the third round. I was like, oh fuck. And I didn't see Joshua knock down Ruiz until like after it. And then it was weird because it was like the upset to it was like, oh fuck. Wow, Josh was getting beat by this little short fat ass dude. You know, and it was kind of like it made you feel like, damn, it was like this like sick ass feeling kind of come over me, like damn, because all the hype, all the intended build up between him and Wild, all that shit looked like it was like right. And it was crazy because like even like round 4, I'm like, oh shit, because I'll come back because I put the phone in between these napkins, these like unopened napkins, and I had them stood up, and I was watching this shit, you know, of course without sound, you know, and I'm watching it, and I'm seeing, you know, Joshua, he'd land a right, and people would get up and shit like that, but then like people were still kind of spooked because I mean this is Madison Square Garden, fucking sold out crowd. You had Brits over there, you had Del Boy, you had David you had everybody over there. You fucking had everybody that was British, you had over there. You know, Derek Chisora, You had Tony Bellew. You had damn, what's the dude, the cornrows? Yeah, I'm still disoriented. But yeah, it was crazy. I mean, everybody was over there. David Hay was there, and David was like, "Oh fuck!" You know, people. David Hay, that's it. King KO, appreciate you, man. And it was like, I was like, "Yo, fucking." I mean, because when AJ, when Andy started nailing his ass, it was back, 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 back. I was like, "Oh fuck," you know. And then I went out talking to people like, "Yo, AJ just getting fucking whooped," and like the coworkers were like, "Who's AJ?" I'm like, "You fucking dunces," you know what I mean? You know, it's like the fucking heavyweight champion of the world. It's crazy, crazy, man. But like, yo, look, that just took me back, and I remember that day like it was yesterday because I left there. I watched it again. I left there. I watched that fight again, and I was like, "Oh shit, okay." He was doing pretty good in the third, and then all of a sudden he got caught with that left, and I was like, "Oh shit," you know. That's where everything went. It's like that fight was destined to go well for Joshua until it just went to shit quick. Like that fight went from yeah, oh. You remember Eddie Hearn? Eddie Hearn was like, oh, oh, oh. that shit was a that shit was hilarious. Because you can imagine the money they spent on the promotion of that shit, and it's all going to shit because of a guy that they didn't even anticipate could do this type shit. Eddie Hearn was saying, "Oh, this little fat fucker is coming to fight. He better be ready." He was saying that shit, but I don't think he really meant it to be going down like that. Hearn watching his millions run down the pen. He was, and that shit. That shit was crazy because because like you had a sellout crowd and the problem was about that fight didn't even supposed to happen. That fight didn't even supposed to happen. That was the filler in fight from the filler in fight from the filler in fight. Because I mean, you think about the people that they want: Michael Hunter, Adam Kalnacki, Luis Ortiz, Dillian White, then Andy Ruiz. Andy Ruiz was probably the last person that they looked at. Him and Michael Hunter. Ruiz is a beast. He beats Wilder easy. I don't know about that shit. I don't know about that shit. Because what I saw him fighting Chris Arreola, no, there's no way he gonna take a Wilder right hand. Wilder hit him with a fucking right hand like that. He knocking Ruiz the fuck out. Third Coast royalty. Now imagine that was Michael Hunter and where would he would be right now if he would have got that fight. Quick and slick as he is, and then Joshua wasn't that way. Wasn't he? He didn't start to reinvent himself yet. So that could have easily happened to Joshua. Because whatever the fuck was going on with Joshua, it wasn't Ruiz was not the guy. Anybody that could have capitalized on that could have capitalized on that. Kurt, what do you think to the potential Haney versus Lomachenko fight? Curtis, I think that fight could happen. Let's see that shit. I mean, Teofimo broke the mold. He cracked. He popped the cherry for Lomachenko. He's the first to fight him, and he won. So yeah, let's see that fight. Let's see that shit. How old are you, Kurt? You look like Iman, mosque prayer. You look like Imam, a mosque prayer. What does that mean? I don't know what that means. Hey, Kurt, I think Ruiz has lost quite a bit of his punch resistance from losing the weight. Karn, I think so too. I think he lost a lot of his resistance. I think he lost a lot of himself. I think he lost too much weight too fast. Because I mean, he took punches from fucking AJ, and I think actually what helped him not get knocked out in the second fight or be buckled like that in the second fight was because he was so big. Yeah, he was down there 300 pounds, but he had foundation. Bow, he wasn't going. He got caught and stuff, but you know he got lighter, dude. Yeah, shit, he got punched and his ass was off his feet. But yeah, man, I remember that fight. I also remember my subscriber count because I was almost at like 20,000. Look at the difference in the size of his neck. Karn, he didn't even fucking have a neck. Now he does. That motherfucker had like he was like he had his head, then his shoulders. That was it. Chris Arreola was beating the hell out of Ruiz. You know, and Chris Arreola, I mean, he ain't known to be no weak puncher, but he ain't known to be a devastating one either. The way he hit Ruiz, man, Wilder, come on, man. Wilder hit that man, that same area. Yeah. Because Wilder ain't going to do nothing. If he hits Ruiz, he would have finished Ruiz because he would have mowed Ruiz down. Bacon and Bits. Oh my God, I'm back again. Counterpunch with Kurt and friends. Backstreet Boys, bars. Tone setter, dropping a quarter dub. Oh, my boy Kurt. Bacon and Bits. Appreciate you, brother. Counterpunch to you. Bacon and Bits. Loving legs and tits. Bars. The Chris Arreola scorecard was rigged. Yeah, it was some bullshit. It wasn't that damn bad. Who do you think wins Usyk versus Fury, and why? Personally, I think Usyk beats Fury by being a little Fury. I say that fight will be very challenging for both guys. Because, see, understand, if Otto Wallin can have the success that he had with Tyson Fury, Alexander Usyk, I think, can be more aggressive and do more damage. Let's put it this way. If Alexander Usyk came in there and split Tyson Fury's eye open, there is no way Tyson Fury would have lasted 10 more rounds fighting somebody like Usyk. I will say that. Is that safe to say? Can I get a yes or a no? If that had been Usyk fighting Tyson Fury, and Tyson Fury's eye split open in two places, would Alexander Usyk allow Tyson Fury 10 more rounds in that fight? Let him through that fight. Fury will probably retire from long COVID and come back later. I wouldn't be surprised. Sounds like a Fury plan. Well, no, you can't say no because he's doing too well. He's talking shit again. He's looking like, I don't know, something. Maybe if he shaves, he looks like a bigger, he looks bigger in stature. He looks like he's getting in pretty good shape now. But I'm just tripping on, man. Y'all, you two cocksuckers. You two cocksuckers. You let this whole year go by and ain't fought yet. Hey, Kurt, what weight should Joshua come in versus Usyk? About 240. About 240 pounds. 237, 240 max. Luis Ortiz, who is he? Name me 5 of Luis Ortiz's. I can name them. I mean, they just ain't worth a shit. Christian Hammer. You had Travis Kaufman. You had Alexander Flores. You had Deontay Wilder, and you had Deontay Wilder. That's 5. Paul Burke. Said exact thing to my friend yesterday. Better boxer wouldn't have let Fury get that win with the eye injury. Facts. Lady Sean Dunn Dempsey, son. Counterpunch to you now. Yeah, because see, Usyk would have saw that fucking eye. They would have thought, snuff. He would have fucked Wild. He would have fucked Fury up. Because you know how like Usyk gets very aggressive in times you don't think he is. So he can turn up when you think that he's not. That's what makes Usyk dangerous, because he can keep pressing you in these weird ass angles with that old fucking paw and ass jabs. You know, all fucking, you know, all around you and shit. He's all around your pivot. You're like, where is he at? He's fucking over here. You know what I mean? And he's hitting you from this fucking way. His punches are coming in this way and shit. You know, look, he's tricky. Watch. That's why the fight is so intriguing. Yes. What is the face of boxing? What you say, Kurt? Who is the face of boxing? Joshua's the face of boxing in the UK. Canelo's the face of boxing over this way. Bars. I want to see Fury versus Usyk now. I want to see that too. But that shit ain't going to happen. See, you know the problem with Fury is, Fury's problem is you can't say shit and then try to take it back by saying something that counter or contradicts that. That's the problem with Fury. Because Fury already said he didn't want AJ to fight Tyson Fury. Okay? Because he didn't want no one messing up his retirement check, because he knew who Usyk is and he knows what Usyk can do. Then you turn around and say, oh, he's going to run over Usyk, no doubt about it. Dude, shut up. And we also know you won't fight Usyk if Usyk beats AJ. I know AJ was a one-trick pony. You look what the fat, yellow Mexican man did to him. He's built like a Stay Puft Marshmallow Man, so I knew I could beat him with one hand tied behind me back. Right? So, no, he won't fight Usyk. Usyk will just be an undefeated fighter. And you just pray Wilder beats whatchamacallit. So hopefully Wilder will fight Usyk. And then if Wilder fights Usyk, same difference. It'll be a fight that we love to see. And what'll happen? Shit, Kurt told us so. While Josh will sit back. Usyk ain't beating me. He's too little. You know. You sounded like Lennox Lewis. Once he gets past my jab, he has to get past my right hand. And if he gets past my right hand, he has to get past my left hook. Big up England. Big up. Big up England. Big up. Who you got in the trilogy, Wilder or Fury? I don't fucking care. Long as it ain't a draw. I don't care who wins. Floating rip shot. Yeah, Skrilla 50. I hit him with the floating rip shot. Yeah. I can teach Joshua the floating rip shot. You know. Lennox is sugar papa. Tyson Fury is great for boxing. He only offends their LDBC. Yeah, they got something. I don't know what it is about some of them cats. They just hate Fury. But then it's like this, though. People say Wilder has a lot of haters, but understand, Fury has an equal amount of haters when it comes to those cats that have those channels. Listen, if Usyk wins against AJ and Fury, he will become the greatest boxer of all time. Oh, if Usyk, yeah, if he beats AJ and Fury, because see, at this point, Wilder's already been beaten. Wilder has to prove himself. So it's up to Wilder to beat Fury, okay? He has to beat Fury. But if Usyk beats AJ, he's 3/4 away of where he wants to be. So Usyk, and here's my thing. If Tyson Fury beats Deontay Wilder, Usyk then beats AJ, Fury might retire. Because he'll just say, you know what, I want to fight a cruiserweight. It's just not worth me fighting. No, you might not want to end up like AJ. And that makes the heavyweight division looks bad. You got a guy that's coming up from fucking cruiserweight and whooping everybody up there. That's bad. And then of course we know Wilder versus Usyk is worlds apart. Yeah, I know. Yeah, that one was Sean Isaac. I have better ones though. Nick Webb will KO Babbitt. Babbitt's personality will take him further than his boxing career. Yeah, he talks a lot of shit, don't he? To be fair, Fury and Wilder should move on. They are fighting ever since December 18th. We want Fury versus AJ, Usyk, White. Just something else, man. Just something else. Yeah, I know, right? Wow, 4 boxers to talk about. How about more boxers? How about Joe Joyce? What do you guys think about Joe Joyce? Joe Joyce Fury. How would you guys see that fight coming? What do you think about Canelo trying to fight Bivol at catchweight? Curtis Allen, I think it's sad. You don't have to fight a champion at catchweight. And it just depends on what are they fighting for. Are they fighting for the unified 168-pound fight? Are those belts on the line, or is the WBA light heavyweight championship belt on the line? Fury beats everyone. Put AJ. Is there a future for Crawford Spence fight? No. Al Heyman buried that shit. He buried it for a reason. Al Heyman would rather see Canelo fight Spence. Because, see, there's a reason Errol's at every Canelo fight. He wants that fight. And I think most importantly, Al Heyman would want him to get that fight. And me personally, I think that the reason why that Caleb Plant fight fell through is because they were trying to stretch that fight for 1 or 2 fights. Do you guys think if Canelo would agree to that 3-fight deal, you don't think one of them fights would have been Spence? Fuck yeah. If Spence would beat Pacquiao, okay, he gets the torch. So he's considered one of the best fighters around because he retired a legend. Okay, and at that point, Canelo's fighting Caleb Plant. Then Errol would move up some type of way. He would move up there. He would move way up there. And then that would be the fight they want to market. And then, if Errol Spence beat Pacquiao, first name, he said, I want Canelo. You bring Canelo Alvarez. I've been in all these fights. I can whoop him. I'm going to stop him. I would have stopped Golovkin too. Kurt, Fury will box Joyce. No one can stand in front of Joe Joyce or you getting stopped or not out of his endurance level so superior to all heavyweights. Paul Burke. You know who got in front of him and stayed in front of him? Alexander Usyk did. Who says he gets the torch? I mean, that's how it works. Just like Floyd didn't want to give the torch to anybody that really deserved it. Because he knew fucking Berto wasn't going to beat him. Berto was going to show up to get paid. Berto was not going to come in there to try to stop nobody. He was in there to get paid. I mean, honestly, I don't even think Berto had the tools to beat Floyd. Okay? And even if he did, because, I mean, Berto had speed. You give him that, but he's had 4 losses. Spence couldn't even KO Mikey Garcia. Or Garcia. Mikey or... Okay. That's who you're talking about. I want Crawford Spence. Yeah, I wanted to see that fight too, but I don't know if it'll happen. Now Benavidez is having a fight with Usyk. Now that'll be a pretty good damn fight. Pain. Pain. That's all I say about that. Because I could see David Benavidez. I could see him putting them punches together on fucking Usyk and Usyk throwing them wild, crazy punches. Flicky, it ain't gonna happen. Manny should fight Floyd next if he wins. Floyd ain't fighting nobody because Floyd ain't in that type of shape to be fighting somebody like Manny. That ain't gonna happen. Floyd should have fought Manny 3 years ago. Well, 2 years ago. They could have had a super fight at 19. Really, Floyd should have been. Floyd wasn't such a fucking arrogant bastard. He would have fought Manny Pacquiao. He would have fought Manny Pacquiao when Manny fought Keith Thurman. It's just Floyd loved the idea of being a boss. He likes sitting out and in the front row seeing what takes place instead of being in the ring these days. Okay? That was Floyd. Floyd, he didn't want to fight anymore. He, like fighting someone like Manny Pacquiao, that ain't like that ain't no walk in the park. Spence is an Olympic silver or Olympic sprinter, just like Malik Scott is a world-class diver. I'd love to see White versus Joyce. Would be interesting. That would be good. Two big-ass dudes like that. Shit. All Joyce has to do is start working on that uppercut. He'll probably throw it just like that, too. Manny needs to hang a Pokemon card around his neck to get Floyd's attention. Who do you think will eventually be the king of the lightweight division? Lomachenko. I don't see those guys. Look, listen to me. Ryan Garcia, Devin Haney, Teofimo Lopez, maybe Stevenson will probably, when he moves up. But understand, those guys are not going to stay there. Stevenson, because look, those guys are not going to stay there because, like Lomachenko, he's not moving up. He, Linares scared the shit out of him, so he didn't want to do that. No, Kurt, the uppercut was way too fast for Joe Joyce. What do you think about Daniel Dubois coming to the U.S.? I think he should, I guess. I mean, this is where the money is, according to John Fear. Dana White in charge of boxing. What do you think? It depends on how many fighters he can get, because people ain't going to want to come over there fucking with him, because he's the type of guy that'll put anybody in with anybody, and they ain't going to like that idea. Haney versus Tank. I don't know, man. I have no idea. Very competitive fight. Do you think Frank Warren is over pushing Joe Joyce like he did? No, I'm not. No. Because he didn't even really have... he's not his primary promoter. Sam Jones is. So, Frank Warren had full faith into Triple D. Kurt, do you think the person who got the ring belt should be considered the number one in that division? I don't think so. Depends on how they got the ring belt, honestly. Who they fight at what circumstances. Warren has hardly pruded JJ at all. Frank favored Triple D over Triple J. Yeah, he did. Oh, promoted. Okay. Floyd is calculates and won't jeopardize an unbeaten record for money. No, he ain't gonna do that. That's his pride. I never lost. When you lose, it's in your mind. When you lose, it's in your mind. I've never lost. I think boxing has too many belts and too many governing bodies to be ran by one person. Well, that ain't gonna happen. You know what? They try to make that shit happen. There's gonna be a lot of people end up missing. Does Crawford versus Porter happen? I hope it does. That shit's really up to Porter now. Porter, because Porter could always say, I don't want it. And what can they do to Porter? Kurt, the WBC doesn't want that belt coming to England. But do you know what they are coming to England and If Loma drops to 135, who would win? If Loma drops to 135. No, you mean to say if Tank. Because Tank's at 140 now. Man, I still would favor Lomachenko in that fight because see, you can move up a weight class and fight someone and makes you appear like you're better just because you're fighting in a different weight class. That don't mean you can't go back down and get your ass beat. You know, there's a reason for fighters. Thought Kurt was going to lay one on the camera then. What do you mean, lay one on the camera? Canelo would sleep Errol, in my opinion. I would like to see it. No, I'm not looking forward to the next Triple G fight. I am really not. Triple G has disappointed me beyond belief. Got rolls, okay, cool. The Deverenchenko fight, all right, that was a tough fight for him. But, you know, other than that, you didn't fight Jermell. You didn't fight Demetrius Andrade. You didn't fight any fucking body we knew. And then his thing was, no, guys, I want truth challenge. Like, really? Okay. I love to see a press conference between Dillian White and Deontay Wilder just to see White troll the hell out of Wilder. Now, I'm going to tell you this, Skrilla. If Wilder, people, if he sits there in other press conferences and don't say nothing, that means Tyson Fury totally changed his personality. He's became a Christian and he's became mute or humbled. How did Triple G make so much money? Signing with the Zone on the strength of fighting Canelo again. Because understand, you know that was a split decision loss he took. Roy Jones found that out, moving up and down and when weight down and moving up and down weights. Yep. Kurt, why don't you interview Shannon the Cannon? Let's go, champ. You know what? I will. If I can get him, I will. Kurt, serious question. Not trying to get you into drama, but what do you think of Tywin's alcoholism streams? What do you mean? When he drinks and shit? I mean, Echo Forbes is what is Echo Forbes? Is it some type of like Boone's Farm or something? Or is it like a cheap ass wine that's high in alcohol content? What is it? I've heard of Echo Forbes. Puckering his mouth and shit all the time. I'm like, damn, you're a mouth puckering motherfucker. Could you stop? You know what I mean? So is it kind of like a Chardonnay or is it more like a Armor Mist? Okay, fruit juice, 0.3 volume. Okay. Oh, it's low. Oh, it's a cheap wine. So it'll get you drunk, basically. Any true champ would fight everyone and anyone like Joshua. It's Echo Falls? I thought it was Echo Forbes. Oh, it's horrible. So you think he likes drinking it because it's cheap? Damn, people still drink Armor Mist. Yeah, I mean, my mother bought some shit like years ago. That's what I can remember. I don't know why she bought the shit, but it was bought. I don't think people are buying tickets for Wilder Fury 3, therefore it might never happen. Well, if it does pour, you know, I don't think that you can't blame Fury. You have to, well, I drank Echo Falls when I was a teen. Okay. I just want the shit to be over, man. I'll be glad when the fucking Fury Wilder shit is over. Kurt, do you still think it may still be a disqualification, but then, you know, I'm not sure. But I did already give the prediction, so why not? That's because Deontay Wilder is a charisma vacuum. Lennox was top 3. Who was the top 2? Graham Taylor. Have seen YB's latest video saying Beyonce get knocked out? No, I have not. Whoa! Whoa! What's up, my dons? Deontay Wilder's getting knocked out again. Inspiring. Whoa! Fucking God. What's up, my dons? Whoa! Everybody hit the like and subscribe. That dude has the funniest fucking voice I ever seen. But hey, you know, that's his shit. You can't help it. Whoa! Click that bell. Not bell. Bell! And subscribe. Yeah. Kurt, my top 3 are Ali, Holmes, and Lewis. Lewis. Been watching Usyk's back catalog. He moves so smooth and crafty. His work is beautiful. You think he has a power, though? He has enough power to do what he needs to do. Just because you are known for a power puncher don't mean you can't knock out a power puncher. Dylan White, the Alabama hillbilly, has ducked me for 2 years. Wilder's a pussy. I told you I'll fight Wilder. He said, I'll fight you. He said, oh, I ain't signing that. I can show you the text. I can show you the text. Show us. Philip Carl Roberts kind of punched to you. Best in, as in the best fighters improve. Marciano would never beat Lewis at 14 stone. Marciano wouldn't beat a lot of motherfuckers at any stone. Let's just be real. Matter of fact, I'll go as far. Rocky Marciano wouldn't have beat Igor Johansson. Rocky Marciano wouldn't have beat Pretty Boy Floyd Patterson. He wouldn't have done anything. He would have been destroyed by Sonny Liston, George Foreman, Muhammad Ali. They're like Rocky Marciano, I feel, though, this is what I'll say about Rocky. Rocky was wise enough to understand the wave of the time. Okay, and what I mean by that is Rocky Marciano would have, he got out of the sport because he knew I had just done this to a great fighter of Joe Louis. And Joe Louis pretty much gave him trouble in that fight. He knocked him through the ropes. He did. And he didn't like that. It hurt him because that was his idol. That was Rocky Marciano. Rocky Marciano's idol was Joe Louis. He had to fight Joe Louis. Joe Louis kind of in his way passed the torch to Rocky. Okay. And Rocky, knowing what he knew, learned from Joe Louis that I'm not going to try this shit like Joe tried with me. All right. He was not going to go in there and fucking with no Pretty Boy Floyd, Peekaboo Floyd. Custom Auto trained him. He was one of the first prodigies of that. Okay. He was not going to fight guys like that. He's seen guys like Muhammad Ali. He's seen Igor Johansson. He had his rivalry with Pretty Boy Floyd Patterson. He was not going to do that type shit. He's seen these monsters ahead of him. He could have kept fighting, but he was not. That's why he knew. George Foreman would have, listen, a lot of people would have destroyed Rocky, but Rocky knew better. Rocky was like, I'm not doing this and I'm not putting myself in this situation. I'm undefeated. I've done my thing. I've had the Joseph Joe Wildcats. I've been with the old Mongoose and fought Archie Moore. I've had those guys. I've fought him. I've got the torch. passed down to me from an older 38, 39-year-old Joe Louis. But I'm not going to fucking go in there against these young, fresh, young, ass-whooping, bound guys. He didn't do that. Kurt, I have a friend with no amateur fights that's a pro that's learning on the job. Also got a late start. Trey Lippy Morrison. Do you think eventually he can make some noise? Depends on who they put him in there with, Michael. That's all that matters. The opposition. Now, if they put him in there with the wrong people, he's going to get beat up again and again. Do you think Oscar should retire if he loses to AJ? Oh, Usyk should retire. He's 34 years old already. No, he doesn't. No. I mean, shit. He might have 6, 7 good years left. Don't say that. Kurt, do you think AJ will get credit? Look, okay. Before I start with that, I don't want Usyk to be like Alexander Vosnik. Alexander Vosnik lost to my man Beterbiev, and he fucking retired, like 17-1. He lost once and he retired. I don't want that to be the narrative for Usyk. I don't want him to be a punch drunk bastard either, but I don't want him, one loss and I'm gone. I don't want him to have that type of, no. Kurt, do you think AJ will get credit for beating Usyk? I mean, if he wins, people excuses him. No, he won't. Matthew McDonald, he won't. He will not. And in boxing is so fucked up to the point where we don't see guys, fighting guys that needs to fight these guys. Like Usyk Wilder. Just like we didn't see a Provandikov versus Danny Garcia. Or Timothy Bradley versus Errol Spence. Or like those type fights. You know what I'm saying? Like Mile High Alvarado versus who? I mean, you did see some eventually, like Brandon Rios and shit. Brandon Rios was once on HBO, and he was that type of fighter back then, but, Yo, Kurt, you need to check that YB video for real. One nice one. St. Don made my day seeing that. Just proof his legs buckled. I wonder what his excuse was. Do you think rumors Usyk has... Oh, yeah, I'll take a look at it. And actually, we got the 2-hour mark, so I'm gonna try to eat something, but I'll take a look at it. I'll counterpunch it. I appreciate you guys coming on today. I'll probably try to do one tomorrow. Depends on where I'm at. But everybody stay safe. Stay tuned today for my latest COVID video, because I do that on round 2. But anyway, you guys be blessed. Everybody's been counterpunched, and have a great rest of your day or night. Peace.